Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
From the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Yo, chat. Welcome. Greetings from Reddit. Welcome, Reddit. Yo, so, I'm not sure. I've been trying to figure out where these papers are that I want to review tonight. I think we can definitely review one from Moneypenny's Twitter, but there were 2 declassified papers, and there's so much stuff in the Discord now that I literally can't even find the papers anymore. Quick update, everybody. So, I did do a Hard Truths podcast tonight. The first one I didn't do live. I chatted with Mark Sokol of APEC and Falcon Space. It was a really good stream, or whatever, podcast, however you want to look at it. Tomorrow, I'm going to edit. I'm gonna edit all the space, or the Hard Truths podcast that I've done, and get them all out there on audio as well as make sure they're all updated on video. And I'm going to try to get them into a podcast playlist on YouTube as well, so that they're easy to follow. Conversation with Mark was actually really, really good. We talked about advanced propulsion mechanisms. We talked about the science. I asked him some scientific questions. We talked about disinformation in the government. We talked about how the government was hiding it. I knew it was going to be good right away when I was like, hey, what do you think about, the technology? And he immediately starts talking about the government hiding like aliens and crafts from us and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, well, I was going to ask about that later, but I guess we're just digging right into it. And I think that he said a lot of the stuff that aligns with things that we've identified and investigated. So that's the first thing that's out there. The other thing that I want to post out there is that this is going to be the first that I've mentioned this. I had communication from a pretty major podcaster, and I was a little bit disheartened because they had seen the debunks on Reddit and thought that the case was debunked. And so therefore the whole thing fell through. And that just makes me wonder in general. Like, I think that, we've looked at all these big name people. I'm just going to list some of them off. Like who are the biggest name people? Like Lex Friedman, right? Sean Ryan, Joe Rogan. Who are the other ones that we haven't talked to? Like Tucker Carlson, like the dream, right? Of talking to these people. And I think that this kind of proves that the reality of the technology that we've been disclosing is simply too much. It's too far outside the zeitgeist for a lot of people out there. And it's so easy for people to poke a hole in something and claim it's debunked, versus we have 14 pages of evidence, including literally who the leaker of the videos is. And that gets discredited by one person finding in 20 minutes, supposedly finding a 2-dimensional cloud picture. That we've already proven the clouds are moving and evolving naturally. Like, it just goes to show it may be literally impossible to disclose the information. I've already been on Alex Jones Jack Trading. I've been on Alex Jones, and I've been on Tim Pool. And it's like, dude, I've been on Alex Jones. He doesn't care about what stuff's been debunked or not debunked, right? But it makes me think, it makes me disheartened because I think that I realize that there is nothing, there's no way to reveal this information. It's too easy to discredit people in general. I mean, I'm literally talking to DOD engineers and scientists and engineers that work for the Navy that have patents out there that have been approved. And it's just, I don't know, man. It makes me think that humanity is simply not ready, right? And like even people like Joe Rogan had never even posted the appearance that he did with Malcolm Bendel because he thought Malcolm Bendel was a fraud, right? And I just sit there and go, oh man, like we are really asking for, it's going to be hard, man. But the good news is, yeah, we've been out there on a lot of big stuff. The other thing too is that I think we're running to the bottom of the barrel of investigative research around the case, right? There's just not going to be a lot more that we can find. I think that I was looking at my list of what we have left. One thing I think we're going to post tomorrow is the debunk of the patent conspiracy, where there's these 4 people that when they die, the patent reverts over. Like, that's actually not true. Those people didn't even die. Arwin found out that those people literally didn't even die. So this whole idea of like this patent converted over to a fourth like the Rothschilds or whatever, like the people that supposedly died weren't even on the plane. And so it's like, okay, so I think we're going to debunk that just because like I want to get that out there to show that we are actually like, we don't have an agenda with what we're doing here. We're just digging through the evidence. And then the other thing is I think we're going to post out the Rolls-Royce stuff this weekend at some point, but I do need to prioritize editing all the podcasts. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to pull clips from them. So I'm probably even going to go through the Salvatore Pais one, and I'm going to pull clips from all of them as well, so that I have like some clips that we can post. And then what I'll probably do over the next couple weeks is every couple days I'll post one of the Hard Truths podcasts that's already been out there, the ones that I re-upload, and do a couple clips with them as well, because I think a lot of it, we are in an information war, I think we can tell, right? And we want to get the evidence out there to as many people as possible. But the last thing I want to say on that front is that I have to adjust my stance again. I think that it's been a matter of me kind of adjusting. Like I was never used to the social media. I was never a streamer. All this stuff is new to me as well. It's going to be me adjusting my approach to people as well. And I think we have to take a very non-adversarial approach, which is just, here's the evidence. You don't want to believe it? Fine, right? You want to believe that it's been debunked by some 2D cloud picture that some random dude found. You want to believe that there's some pyromania VFX in the videos? Fine. Go nuts, man. It just doesn't matter to me at this point. I'm happy enough that people will at least consider the fire theory, and that they will consider that this plane didn't crash in the South Indian Ocean, because it didn't, right? And so one of the other posts that I may do this weekend is going to be Ashton predicts the future. So I'm going to give you guys a little inside info onto that. So Ashton predicts future narratives, guys. So here we go. So first of all, 10 years from now, we're still not going to have found the plane. And people are going to go, well, it just went somewhere else into the middle of the ocean, right? And that we couldn't find. So I'm going to go ahead and predict this nonsense narrative already. So 5-10 years from now, when people are still saying that it's in some mythical part of the ocean where we couldn't see it or something like that, that's not true. When it turns out that we can teleport an object and that superluminal speeds are possible, and then people are going to go, well, just because that's all true and he got all that right, doesn't mean that we stole the plane. The narrative will change, right? They're going to say, well, those videos are still fake, even though we've literally proven that macroscopic phase conjugation is a thing. So I want to get ahead of that narrative. You guys heard it here first. When room temperature superconductivity gets out there, LK99 is proven. I've been saying it's real for months and months and months, even when people were saying it's been debunked. People are going to say, oh, well, he just guessed. He's not really an engineer. There's no way he could have known that. Right? Well, I want to go ahead and get ahead of that narrative right now as well. I already am predicting the future narratives and exactly what they're going to say. So I'm either psychic or I'm right. I'm not sure which it's going to be. We'll find out. Yeah, that was me remote viewing into the future. I'm using my remote view and turns out maybe I'm just psychic. I don't know, guys. Yeah, we have all this tech, but nobody uses it. Well, the problem is they're hiding it, right? They're hiding it. Yeah, so orangutan, you got a funny name. I like that. That's a good name. Oh, let me switch over. So you guys can't even see the chat. I mean, so the reality is I'm never going to admit these videos are fake unless somebody were to come forward and with a logical explanation for why they haven't come forward to date with the source material in hand, right? Because now the problem is it's been so long that people can fake videos that like don't have the plane or the orbs in them at this point, right? That's how long it's been, especially using AI. So now I need to see those sources, and I want to have a logical explanation for where they've been hiding this whole time and how they made the videos, why they made the videos, how they knew about all the requirements, right? I don't think that's ever going to happen, but, that's what it would take now. But the reality is I have been considering whether or not I should retire on MH370. I'm curious to hear your guys' chat or your guys' discussion on it. And when I say retire, I don't mean admit the videos are fake or, give up on MH370 entirely. I just mean like we're kind of running out of material and investigative stuff. I mean, we've investigated the hell out of everything, right? Everything. And it's to the point where like I want to pivot into the science, I think, right? Where we want to I want to learn everything about electrical engineering. I want to prove that there's a unification theory. Oh, that's one of the other things. I'm going to predict the future, guys. Here we go. Charles Xavier in this thing. That's the guy from X-Men, by the way, with mind powers. Oh, yes, a unification theory is going to come out and going to get proven, right? And it probably already has been based on like LIGO data as well. And they're going to say, oh, Ashton just guessed that. He didn't really know. He's not a physicist or scientist. There's no way he could have known, even though I'm going to have posted like 4 different unification theories, right? And the thing about the unification theory is that's what leads to all the stuff that we've been seeing, the macroscopic phase conjugation, the teleportation type stuff, right? That's what unification theory leads to. Even the one today, and this is a good segue into our topics here. So I have not yet decided on whether or not I'm going to retire on the MH370 stuff, but I want to let you guys know first that I'm thinking about it. Because I do think that like the 10-year anniversary would be a good time to say, hey, I've presented everything that's out there. I'm not going to do any more podcasts related to it unless something huge were to come up, right? Like unless like Joe Rogan or Sean Ryan or Lex Friedman hit me up. Because it just gets to be tiring going through the same stuff over and over and over again. But I do think that I want to push forward on the science aspect because I think there's a lot more there where we can discover, learn, know more about. And I think that the science will lead to the rest of this stuff becoming true. Because like if you're confident this stuff is true, then you should be able to understand it. And I think that that's the part where the people that are out there, these like even the Stephen Greers, Jeremy Corbells, like why are they not trying to understand the science behind it? To me, that's the way you push the envelope forward at this point. Like, why care about what Eric Weinstein says? How about just go learn it yourself and figure it out, right? And so that's what I think the better use of the time is going forward, as opposed to digging around and finding more stuff. Although it might be fun every once in a while to find out something else. So, and I don't like ever talking about this right now, but I did, and this is not that, I mean something else. I did just get a message from Florence Achangi right now because I broached this idea with her. She was the first person I mentioned about this because she's somebody that had been digging into the case for 10 years. And she had told me that a lot of people, we had a personal conversation a couple months ago. We talked on the phone, and she had told me that a lot of people asked her, why do you keep doing this? Why do you spend so much time in this? Right? And she said, well, because I want to get the answers. It's like it's not an obsession. It's just a matter of wanting to know the truth. Right? And so let's see. She just messaged me back. And I want to see what she says. I'm not going to probably read out exactly it, but okay, I am going to read it, actually. It's not too bad. So she says, hey, Ashton, I had burnout last summer as I may have mentioned. She's actually talking about the thing I was just mentioning. And many friends believe it's related to the relentless search. You have surely contributed enormously in opening people's minds. Let's have a call. Yeah, so I think that, God, I respect the hell out of Florence Changi. She is such a smart woman. And that's, like, I never expected a message of encouragement like that, you know, as a response. It actually, like, makes me feel a little bit better about it, right? Because reality is so many people know there was something wrong with this plane, and we know we didn't get the answers. And, of course, we're looking at 2 videos of it, right? We have to figure that out to a degree. Now, who is it that just said, so Dorian made a comment as well, you can't retire, otherwise you'll lose the algorithm. I think we've already lost the algorithm. I think we've already kind of lost the algorithm, is the reality of it. At least with the respect to the MH370 stuff. You know, I've been noticing the trends where it's kind of been relegated to this fringe aspect now. It was really exciting for a while. There was a big buildup. And then I think that the cloud picture thing is what took the big wind out of the sails, which is another part of the reason why I'm pretty much convinced that that was some type of elaborate disinformation that was posted. I don't know who's responsible for it. And, you know, but the way it all played out was super sketchy. And it came at the time where, like, things were getting huge, right? And the government would have been desperate to make it go away because it was already super awkward why media was not reporting on it. Right. And then all of a sudden this comes out. Why did that not come out 10 years ago? These videos have been out there this whole time. Right. Oh, some random 4-day-old Reddit account found it. Pretty sketch. So I think from that perspective, we've already lost the algorithm. I think that the way forward, the problem with going around the science aspect is that nobody cares about science. That's the sad part I've realized as well. Right. And, like, we post a lot of science stuff and we get, like, no engagement on it. Because what people care about is cool-looking videos, which maybe we can find some aspect of that where it's like, oh, here's cool-looking video, and we'll post some of those. But I'm just not 100% sure. I do think that learning the science will bring back up a little bit of level of credibility where there's a lot of people right now who, you know, probably think that I'm some kind of hoaxer or grifter or whatever, even though I've literally never asked anybody for money. And these people follow people that their whole lives in UFOlogy is trying to grift people for money to take repackaged content and turn it into documentaries or post videos that aren't even anomalous, you know, and get people to watch their YouTube videos about it. It's like, yeah, it's pretty wild, man. I even had one person, after I told them I haven't asked for any money or made any money from the podcast, they go, oh, well, you should be. It's like, you're not doing it right. Like, dude, what? Like, what, I'm supposed to be, like, demanding money for people to be on their podcasts? That's not how it works. Yeah, I think trying to dumb down the science is probably a way to go in general. But, yeah, we do need the applied science like the thunderstorm generator, right? So, I don't know. I think there's probably a way to work that, but that's what I'm thinking in general. The other part, too, is that I'm probably not going to just dig into whatever conspiracy theories are out there. It's just not my thing, man. Like, I think that stuff like that, like, I get so many posts about 9/11 conspiracies that people want me to dig into. It's not going to happen. That topic's already well covered anyway. For me, it's a matter of trying to find something that I think is really interesting. Like, another thing will come up that I'm going to be interested in. I don't know if it's going to be political or what have you, but, like, a few examples would be like the what Putin was talking about yesterday, the Nord Stream pipeline. Like, if there were a Nord Stream pipeline situation were to come up and everyone's blaming one another, I would be jumping in on that. Like, I'm probably going to be focusing more on geopolitics and on science. And I want to avoid culture war stuff. Okay, right? You're not going to see me posting about what's one of the big ones that I see on Twitter. Oh, like trans stuff, like, oh, people transitioning and the doctors, whatever, to people. Like, I'm not posting about that stuff. I think everybody should live and do whatever the hell they want. I'm not going to try to change people's behaviors. Like, I just don't care about that. So I'm going to avoid pretty much all the culture war stuff. You're probably never going to see me talking about the border crisis, although maybe I'll make some quips about it, but I just don't care a lot about that in general. I'm sure I'll still get labeled alt-right no matter what, but it is what it is. There was no stream yesterday as well. No stream yesterday because I had a bunch of different podcasts and stuff that I was doing. So I was just busy yesterday. That's why there was no stream yesterday. Yeah, so Florence and I think we get along fine. We just both have our own independent theories, and in order for both of us to maintain credibility, I think we can't cross over too much. But I think I may ask her to come on Hard Truths podcast and talk about the case in general, her findings, struggle with reporting on the stuff, how she wrote her book, things like that. I think she'd come on the podcast for me. So we may work that out. The problem with that is that it's going to have to probably be a not live one because, like, she's in Hong Kong, so they're, like, I don't know, 14, 16 hours ahead or something like that. So it makes it really difficult to find times that match. So that's kind of the stuff. I just wanted to opine a little bit to the chat here in terms of what I've been thinking about in general. Also, feel free to check out the Skyfire News space that we just did. The reason why I was late tonight is we've been doing weekly Friday spaces with Skyfire News, going over the weekly UFO topics. And then I talk a little bit about the stuff that's been going on in the world or what have you. I did so as well tonight, guys. Actually, even it might still be going on. Let me double check. Yeah. So the Oppenheimer Ranch. Check this one out after the stream tonight if you haven't already. I did go back on with Diamond today, and it's already live actually at the moment. So make sure you guys check that out. Check the stream out. I retweeted it later this evening. Diamond, as I've said before, I think he's one of my favorite, if not favorite, podcaster that I've done multiple shows with because he's just so knowledgeable about everything out there. Like I brought up Malcolm Bendel and Randall Carlson, and he immediately knew them. He's like, oh, I know the most, like basically the most about those guys, like top 10. And I was like, oh, well, then you're going to love this. And I talked to him about the letter that was sent to me and the story that was posted there. So we had a pretty awesome stream or podcast. And I think that I do well with people like that because we just flow back and forth, right? And we talk about how they keep the science secret and what have you in general. It's pretty good. Can I mention this as well? I think I'm safe to mention this. So it's going to be a while for Sal to come back on. I was told that he's been told to be quiet. He went on too many podcasts, and now he's not supposed to go on as many. Which, to me, lends more credibility to his story, right? You know, he was saying a lot of stuff on our podcast, man. And he had a lot of things where he had to, like the solid state superconductivity stuff, right? He had to dial it back a little bit. And the solid state quantum macroscopic phase conjugation stuff, Dave was a lot more open about it. But Sal was a lot quieter. So it's been a lot of blows, guys, recently about a lot of the stuff, you know? With respect to Tony and Jimmy, I think that Jimmy he's out on Jimmy. The thing about Jimmy I find is that like he's a logical dude for sure, but he seems to have his own pet like thing going on, right, with the Atlantis stuff. I think he's a really nice guy, but like I saw that he had some kind of tiff with Malcolm and stuff like that as well and called him a liar and a grifter. I feel like anybody who's out there proposing stuff like Lost City of Atlantis or anything else that's pretty far out there, you shouldn't be throwing stones at other people. Seems a little weird. And that's just from a personal perspective, right? If you're talking about and you're going on Tim Pool and with the Sun Weather News guy, and you're talking about the poles shifting and all this stuff, you shouldn't be talking about what other people are making stuff up, right? You should at least just like, you know, be a little bit more open-minded would be my approach. With respect to Tony, what I'll say about Tony is that I love Tony, right? He's the first person that had me on the show. I think that his stuff is definitely more on the fringe aspect for sure, right? And what I'd say is that, like, I think he was a little bit scared based on what we were showing. Like, we were showing a serious conspiracy that can get people disappeared, right? And he's got a family and all this stuff as well. And if you look at the other people that had me on in person, like, the other two that had me on, like, were both straight up, like, trying to debunk us, right? Like, they were just hit jobs. So I think that Tony might have gotten a little freaked out by it. And I don't want to put him or his family in any kind of danger at all, right? But if Tony were to ask me on, of course I would come back on again, because I owe him so much in terms of the case and getting the evidence out there. That's just the kind of person I am. I am trying to backdoor to get in contact with Randall or Malcolm. I'm not sure that will happen, but we're going to try it, right? Get a puppy to keep Lulu company when you're wrestling the gorilla. Yo, Harrenby, R.I.P. Harrenby. Is it Harrenby's death anniversary soon? Dude, I swear, there was a post on Reddit, on the conspiracy Reddit, that was talking about everything went downhill after Harrenby died. It's actually true, man. That's not even conspiracy. That's just true. 2016, man. Everything went to hell after that. Sasquatch Chronicles. Wait, you know somebody from Sasquatch Chronicles? Yeah, I mean, get me in touch with them. We can talk through it. Yeah, I would like to talk to somebody in the Squatch. There's a Squatch in them woods. I want to talk to somebody about Squatches, dude. Oh, also, guys, here's a fun little nugget. So, okay, Danny Jones person, come on. Last night. Oh, so the reason why I didn't do the podcast last night was because I watched the Putin interview in Matt Kim's Discord. There's actually a Discord out there that doesn't hate me. I was surprised. Apparently they love me and love following the case. So I joined his Discord. Matt Kim is one of my favorite people as well. I mean, obviously he is a unapologetic political podcaster. He interviewed Tucker Carlson. I love watching his little videos where he kind of like bobs his head back and forth and talks about the various social commentary and stuff that's out there. I also like his approach, where it's like, his approach is that he doesn't know. He's just putting information out there and letting people, figure it out. And so, yeah, Matt Kim's one of my favorite people for sure in the whole podcaster world. Just super, super cool guy. He, I'm pretty apolitical, but he just he makes me want to vote for Trump just because I think he's such a cool guy in general. Matt Kim, I'm talking about. That's just his mentality. Like, it's just makes you gravitate towards him in general. And that's a little bit of a joke. But, at the same time, it's true about him. David Pallades, so he's the 411 guy. I'm very certain he's the 411 guy, right? So I think I reached out to him early on. Somebody told me this is way too outside his wheelhouse. He's not into advanced technology stuff. He's into missing people or something. And somebody told me he's like a huge dickhead. I mean, sure, they say that about me too, and it's wrong, but yeah, I don't know. The 411 guy doesn't seem to have any interest. I think I remember I reached out to him or pinged him or something like that. So yeah, people try to reach out to him. This is not his thing, guys. I'm pretty sure. You got to realize, there's so many people where the idea of a plane teleporting from orbs, it's way too out there for a lot of people, regardless of what kind of the side of the political spectrum you're on in general. So that's why I was surprised when I joined Matt Kim's Discord, where he's like, oh, everybody loves you in my Discord. I'm like, oh, there's a place where they actually like me. That's cool. Because it feels like everywhere I go, it's just like, no matter what, even if it's UFO believers or non-believers, they just for some reason hate me. It's pretty bizarre. Not that I really care. I just think it's interesting. Okay. The Sierra sounds. I have no idea what that is. Okay. Now. Okay, well, I guess we're just doing a little chat here. Josh from Paranormal Roundtable. So the other thing too, guys, is I'm getting pretty tired of doing podcasts. I've done so many, man, like so many, and I've got to put the list together. But I think it's like over 75 now. You know, that's a lot, man. I've been doing pretty much one every single day for the last 3 or 4 months, and it's just exhausting. So it's not a matter of just keep doing podcasts, right? Like I keep just repeating a lot of this stuff in general. And then in terms of having people that we interview, there's a pretty decent number of people that I'd like to interview, but I've got to probably wind back some of the ones that I'm doing for other people in order to be able to focus on me doing more. Like I don't even have time to edit the ones that I've already done, right? And that's why I've got it tomorrow. I've got to edit the ones I've done. And then probably a good thing to do tomorrow would be to put together the list. And then I think that I'm going to probably start dialing back some of the podcasts as well. So I'm only doing like 1 or 2 a week, which is going to be unfortunate. But I think I've hit pretty much all the major podcasts that are out there. I've done a lot. Yeah. Yeah, as far as I know, Pallades is not interested in this, but if you guys want to reach out to him, feel free. I don't know. I've heard a lot of negative stuff from people that I trust about him, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of you guys too were telling me to talk to Danny and from the Concrete podcast and Julian, and those guys turned out to be douchebags. So I think you guys should also be very careful about which people you are suggesting for this type of information. Realize that what we're talking about here is not just conspiracy, it's also advanced technology that will literally break the brains of a lot of people out there, right? It makes a lot of people just viscerally angry. Okay. But it doesn't mean we can't go with them, but I'm just saying. That's a good question. Have I thought about quitting my job to do this full time? I could never make even remotely as much money doing this as I do at my full-time job, guys. The total amount of money, like revenue, not even just profit, but revenue that I've made during this is like less than 5% of my actual income I make at my real job. Maybe even less than that. It's basically nothing, right? It's lower, much lower even than minimum wage would pay, right? And that's with me doing a ton of extra work on this, right? So there's this idea that I'm making money off of this. Absolutely not at all about the case. The money that I have been making related to the streaming is a tiny insignificant amount, and B, it's just me being a streamer, right? It's not me selling anything related to the case. And a lot of it's just been about science and stuff. Yay, Driftless Dave, thanks a lot, man. Yeah, the Diamond podcast, the Diamond show is great. I'll probably do another follow-up on that. Yeah, you'd need at least 100,000 subscribers. Even that's not enough. Look at people like Chris Leto or like Alien Scientist, right? And Alien Scientist, like I think he's probably barely making anything from his YouTube. You got to keep that in mind. There's a lot that goes into this stuff. Yeah, I'd like to make my live stream a little bit more regular. I'll probably be focused on that as well in terms of trying to make it simpler. So that's another part about it as well, Egon, is that if I do shift my... hey, William. If I do shift the situation in terms of dialing back from MH370, I may begin to monetize some of the work that I do and maybe either do a subscriber model on Twitter or do something else related to YouTube. I'm not 100% sure. But the reality is, people are allowed to make money out there and doing whatever they want to do. I just want to make sure that people realize like everything we've put out there related to MH370 has been no paywalls, 100% never asked for a dime related to it. So what I'd like to do is get all the MH370 stuff out there and then just kind of be like, okay, it's out there, guys. And there it is. Hey, there's me. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. Diamond's one of my favorite people for sure. For sure. Definitely. Aliens don't understand sequel. There's a consulting opportunity for you there. And I've been backdooring some stuff. Like if you guys have been watching the Skyfire news stuff, Keemstar has been pretty adamant about having me do a show related to the UFO community world, which I think would be pretty fun. If I were to pick a show that I would do like a daily show, but related to the UFO community in general. I've spoken to Danny Sheehan on the phone once. You know, I guys want to know a funny story, so I'm going to tell you guys another funny story. I guess this is story time, guys. This is the thing that's crazy. Like how many people I've been connected to. I don't even tell you guys about a lot of them because I like to make sure that people can trust me with confidential information. But you know, some of the stuff gets out there. Like I've spoken to Jesse Michaels personally. He brought that up on one of the spaces. I had a connection that got me in touch with Danny Sheehan, and I had a phone call with him months back. And the crazy part was I started telling him about the case and started telling him about teleportation, and he seemed disinterested. And the weird part about that is then I see a clip of him literally talking about somebody tells him a story about a Coke can teleporting. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, why was he not interested in what I'm telling him about a literal plane teleporting away? But he's then going on podcasts and talking about stories of a Coke can being teleported over to the next room. I don't know, man. Danny Sheehan is Lou Elizondo's lawyer. Guys, the part for me is that like I'm new into this whole space of UFO community. So I don't know what's disinformation and what's not. I just know that there is a lot of disinformation out there, and I know that people are willing to lie about it. I definitely think Jack trading that either Danny and Julian, I think that the way it worked out was that Julian was either he's a useful idiot and he got used by his government buddies because he's a wannabe FBI agent, wannabe CIA guy, right? 100%. I pegged him on that immediately. When I get in there and he's talking to an FBI agent on the phone, I can tell this guy's just a complete wannabe loser. And that's Julian Dory I'm talking about. But so he's either like this wannabe FBI guy that did this attack on me in person or intentionally, or he was a useful idiot that was being used. With respect to Danny, I feel like Danny, it was more like Julian's his best friend, and then he felt compelled to like do this debunk, and they both know the Corridor crew, which are just some complete fucking idiots. I mean, there's no way to put it. They're like two of the dumbest, or however many of them are like the dumbest people on the whole planet. And they think that they're VFX artists. Like, I'd almost guarantee those guys haven't done VFX in years. And so that was how that whole thing played out. Like, I'm almost 100% sure. And I think that it makes sense that it was even used by the government, because this is why Danny would have put a dishonest thing on it. You go look at Danny's podcast names, and they're all like all this weird esoteric stuff. But then when it comes to me, it's like fully debunked by the Corridor crew, which is just a straight up lie. Just a straight up lie. It's like he put it out there just so that people who don't watch are going to think that. You can still go look at the comments even after he's deleted a lot of the negative comments. And still, a lot of the top comments are like how he was a huge dickhead and how it doesn't make any sense why he acted this way. Right? Like, the reality is I wouldn't recommend anybody go on Danny Jones's podcast or anybody go on Julian Dory's podcast. Of course, they're going to keep getting people, because when you're connected to the government and you're connected to these disinformation people, that it pays money, and they hook you up for doing it 100%. It's easier for them to use these assets that they have control over than it is to pay me to stop talking about it, right? They're going to try to discredit me, and that's what they did. The good thing is it didn't work that well, but it's worked well enough. Like, a lot of people go back and go, oh, you were debunked on the Danny Jones podcast. And I'm like, well, I was there. I don't remember that. When you want to remind me when that occurred? What was the specific claim that they debunked me with? And yeah, I understand why people still enjoy it, because he never acted that way about anybody except for me. But yeah. Let me see what else we got, guys. Keep in mind as well, though, that I've only been streaming for like 3 months at most and investigating for like 5 months. So I'm like very new to this. These other guys, they've been streaming and podcasting for years, right? Years. So a lot of this is like, and I don't know I would ever even want this to be my job. I think I've been pretty clear that like I'd rather be a normal person, but at this point, like I've made so many contacts and connections with people that it does seem like there's an opportunity for me to have a life that I enjoy more than what I do with my normal boring job. And I like my normal job, but it's not the same as going to exciting places and talking about cool conspiracy theories and other interesting archaeological stuff, or even, doing a kind of show out there. I mean, I would like that stuff as well. I don't think Danny has done that to anybody else. I literally don't think anybody else. Yeah. As far as I know, like I was literally the only one. That's why I was surprised, because I looked him up ahead of time and I'm like, oh, this guy's talking about angels and demons and psychic powers and people that are summoning UFOs, and thinking like, okay, well, there's no chance this is going to go poorly. The thing I've learned, though, this is what I'll tell you guys. If somebody has you sign if anyone has you sign a release, just say no right away. Just cancel the podcast appearance. That was the rub. Both those guys tried to get me to sign releases, and that's how you know that they are trying to screw you over and that they're going to defame you. They're trying to get you to sign a release. And even when I went on Tim Pool, which is way bigger, the only release I had to sign was for injury, because he had a skate park on the lot, to say that I wouldn't sue him if I got hurt or something like that. It didn't even have anything to do with the podcast appearance. If they're not paying you anything to go on the appearance, there's no release you need to sign. The only way they would make you do that is if they're going to try to discredit you. And when Julian Dory did it, he had this really sketchy release, like really sketchy. I should have known when I read it. I just wasn't that familiar, right? I thought it was normal. His release was all like, if you say anything wrong about me, I can sue you. And I'm looking at it going, this is weird. But fortunately enough, like he signed the release for me, which was the dumbest thing he could possibly do. Like he should have at least had me type in my own name into the computer. Instead, he just typed my name into the computer straight up. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, I'm protected, because if he does anything, I'll just literally say that he's the one who typed my name into the signature. And that's probably why he deleted his podcast, because he defamed me in the podcast. He falsely edited it. He falsely added defamatory content to the front of it. And I told him that he should go talk to his he's like some like little like bitch, like silver spoon. His parents never told him no, like grew up in, rich New Jersey. It has connections to some lawyer people. And he just told me this just straight up. I'm like, imagine how privileged you have to be to like brag about this to somebody else. That like he would get some really a fancy lawyer to work for him for free if I were to ever say anything about it to him or to anybody. And I'm like, dude, well, you should go talk to those lawyers, because you just defamed me super hard. And that's why he, deleted his thing, because he got super negative review on it. And I imagine that his lawyers, when he talked to them, said, dude, you should just delete this, because he could come after you and just take everything you have. And the only reason why I didn't is because it costs a lot of money to do that. Yeah. No, it's gone. Julian's podcast, he deleted it. I told him to delete it. And then when I told him to delete it, and this was on the space. You guys can listen to my space. So I recorded the stream where we were all in the space together. And I literally told him that the best advice I could give him would be to delete our interview. And he's like, oh, well, it's almost like you want it to be deleted. And I'm like, you're the one who looks like an asshole. Like, I mean, if you want to still act like an asshole. Yeah, and he put me in the shittiest hotel ever. Like, shittiest hotel. Like, it stank. It was sketchy as hell. And I get in there, and I'm like, oh, okay. I've been played. Here. And he didn't even pay for it. He didn't even prepay for it. I'm like, it was super sketch, dude. Julian Dory is a complete scumbag piece of shit. He really is. And he's Jersey Shore trash, too. I get in there, he doesn't even have a shirt on. When I get in there, he's wearing a wife beater. He's got to like go take a shower and put a shirt on when I get there. Just Just complete trash. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's get into the science. The funniest part was then after I mentioned it, he flipped out, right? He flipped out about all that stuff too, about the hotel stuff. And I'm like, dude, you should just admit it. You didn't pay for it. And he's sitting there trying to say I lied about it. I'm like, go look at your freaking receipts. Like, what are you talking about, man? It's not some kind of he said, she said. It's like literally just straight up verifiable evidence. Yeah, no. Julian Dory is a huge, huge douchebag. Huge douchebag. Like literally just complete loser. Like nobody should ever go on his podcast kind of loser. Like he even just straight up told me that he was losing money on his YouTube because he got demonetized from something, or he got shadow banned or something like that. He started whining about how he didn't want to go on Rumble because all Rumble people are like alt-right and he wanted to be associated with them. It was just everything about the dude was just trash. And of course, he's like best friends with James Fox too. Of course. That's how I lost all respect for James Fox as well. And now I'm pretty sure James Fox is just like a straight up grifter, where he's like, they just straight up told me too that James Fox doesn't even believe in any of this stuff. James Fox is a UFOologist that doesn't believe in any of the UFO stuff. He's just a straight up liar. But he fools people into thinking that he does. And that's like what it's all about, PR, right? Where that's the reason why James Fox doesn't ever talk to anybody, right? Because if anyone were to talk to him in person, they'd realize that James Fox is an asshole and that he doesn't believe any of this stuff firsthand, right? So that's why you'll never find him in a space. That's why he only posts like completely curated Twitter posts and victimizing himself into being attacked when he gets sued and crying about how he got screwed over on some business deal. It's like, dude, you're the one responsible for those business deals. If you just signed a bad contract, that's on you, man. But of course, he doesn't paint it that way. He paints himself as some victim so that he can have the UFO community come to his aid, right? Like, you got to be very skeptical of these people, chat. Okay, so sorry we went on the side ranting about people out there, but I kind of hope that they hear it because it's the truth. And I think I've proven that I have no problem telling the truth, no matter what it seems like, or even if it makes me look bad. I just don't care. Now, unification theories. So we mentioned there's a bunch of unification theories, and then yesterday I posted. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Can you guys read this, by the way? Can you guys read the screen? If not, I can zoom in. Let me see if I zoom in. Okay. Funny, still believer in the Miami aliens. I think, guys, the Miami alien stuff has been debunked. That's my true opinion. It was weird because all those people that were coming out that were saying like they had all these experiences, they were really good actors. But when we heard someone actually finally posted the scanner, and the scanner just sounded completely normal. Like somebody would have said something about people claiming there to be aliens in the scanner if there really was. And it was an outdoor mall. Kind of weird. Wait, what was that? Oh, this is pretty funny. Is that a Knights Templar thing? Damn. Guys, if you saw me wearing some kind of Knights Templar thing, how many people would be talking about I'm some kind of weird, what are the things? The Illuminatis or the Freemasons or whatever? Guys, that's why you're never going to see me doing any weird hand signals in front of my face or anything like that. Because I'm aware. I'm aware of what the appearances look like. Where was the science that I posted? Okay, so yesterday I posted this. This is actually really interesting. This condensed matter particle generation model by Martin Gibson, who is he and Roy D. Herbert are in kind of cahoots, and they both have this dilation theory. And this is actually really interesting because it's a unification theory between general relativity and quantum mechanics, quantum field theory. And it's basically this idea that you have this inertial continuum, and that everything is an emergent property from this underlying matrix that's out there, right? And so I'm not going to go through all of it, but one part I thought was interesting was this toroidal oscillations, because the oscillation is similar to what Dave Rossi was saying in the paper that we posted from him, right? So this is really interesting. And I think I even had Dave look at this, and he said that, yeah, it seems to be pretty consistent with what his theories were about it. So you can see all these implications, all this stuff in terms of the implications are pretty much what we'd expect: quantum computing, advanced propulsion, new energy sources, material science, the impact of the economic impacts are out there. But you can see, I think that we've already lost quite a lot of people who were following before, just from the views in general. Like Dave Rossi's stuff got like 30,000 views, like 3 times the amount of this, right? So a lot of this stuff, unfortunately, has already started to die off a little bit, which is whatever. We still have much higher engagement than a lot of people do. But it goes to show that we're not like in this, the MH370 stuff in general, I think that a lot of people have given up on, which is sad. But anyway, side note. So then I get a message from somebody after I posted this. Oh, wait, Dave Rossi did? Generator. Oh, he retweeted his own thing? Why does retweeting your own thing do something? Dielectric medium. Wait, I thought he was gonna... I think I talked to him earlier. So what I was gonna say though is I posted that, and then somebody messaged me and said, "Hey, this is really similar to this guy David Maker." And it's funny because I was asking somebody else about this David Maker guy. I forgot his name. I knew it was Maker something, but Maker is like, you Google that, you're never gonna find it, right? And so I looked into it here, and I haven't read through it, but I want to read through it real quick with you guys tonight, and then I want to look at one of these other papers. Hey, Bernie, nice to see you, man. I'm trying to see. I think Dave told me he was going to post something. I'm not sure if this is it, though. Oh, it's supposed to be about... I think it was going to be something about superconductivity. Ooh, he's dunking on Average Chris. Average Chris is not smart enough to understand how reality works, whether it's sociologically with regards to landscape dynamics of a given subject or in science. So by definition, his cognition is highly limited. Oh my God. Average Chris, you got dunked on, dude. Oh, adrenochrome? He's got a lot of followers. I mean, this idea that the underlying framework is a matrix seems like a pretty interesting idea. Whoa, he's got some interesting stuff on his stream today. What do you guys? I don't know what adrenochrome is. I'm starting to get to be too afraid to ask. Drinking what viewers call adrenochrome. Okay, guys, that might be another conspiracy for another day. I'm gonna write that down on my list here. Adrenochrome. I've heard this, but I don't know what it is. Okay. Anyway, so I want to look at the David Maker stuff, and then I want to look up Moneypenny. There was some Stephen Greenstreet drama today, too. I don't know what this dude's deal is. Moneypenny stuff's not getting... Oh, I know why. So I don't know if Moneypenny knows this, guys. This is a little tip. If you at people like this, it only sends it to those people that follow you and them. So that's why you only get so many views. You never want to at people like that. You need to put a period in front of it. Otherwise, it destroys your views. Where the heck is her analysis? Is this it? No. That's not it. What the hell? Where is it? Sorry, chat. Hold on. Don't do adrenochrome. What is it? Don't ask. Is this? Oh, YouTube will ban me if I talk about it? Is it? Oh, now I'm really curious. Yeah, I want the military papers. I want the military papers. Oh, here it is. It's from February 7th. That's why. Okay, well, let's find this one. This is the one I'm looking for, chat. I can't find the link to this one. Concepts for extracting energy. There we go. There we go. Oh, it's from the Black Vault. Is it 2009? Whatever. There we go. So Black Vault has it. Okay, got it. Okay, I'll close that out. Okay, you guys ready for a little bit of science? Can someone tell me what adrenochrome means, though? If Dave Rossi says it's real, then I'm very curious. Then I trust him pretty well. John Greenwald just added his own little plug here. All these people are profiting off of this stuff, right, chat? I'm like the only one not profiting off of this. Discover the truth at blackvault.com. Okay, let's start with this one, and then I want to look at David Maker, and then we'll say, I'm going to try to find the second one for tomorrow, probably. Blood of children for immortality? Is that really what it is? Guys, I want some immortality. Do I have to harvest the blood of children, though? Sounds kind of like Satanism to me. There's an orb floating in midair filmed on the property by General Atomics. You got to tweet that at me. I feel like you can probably get blood without having to traffic children, right? Maybe you can't, though. Maybe you can't. Okay, so this is actually pretty long. So let's dig into some of this. You know what? Can we feed this into AI? Maybe we can just feed this into AI. I feel like we should use AI, chat. You know what? Let's feed this into AI. How does AI work? Is AI gonna know this? It's on the Black Vault, so it should know. Let's say summarize. Let's see if Grok can do this for us. I don't like working hard. I like working smart. Chatpdf.com. That's a real thing. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, this is let's just do Chat GPT version. Guys, let's do the Grok version. This will be better. Okay. Concepts for extracting energy from the quantum vacuum revolve around the idea. Oh, I'm just showing my DMs. Whatever. Concepts for extracting energy of the quantum vacuum revolve around the idea of harnessing the energy present in the vacuum of space. This energy, known as the zero-point energy, is a consequence of quantum mechanics and therefore thought to be potentially limitless source of energy. Researchers have proposed multiple various methods to extract this energy, such as I lost my train of thought. such as the Casmir effect, which introduces the use of two metal plates to create a region of negative energy density. So the Casmir effect is really cool, guys, right? Because this is where you take your two plates. You have your two plates. And the thing about this is that when you've closed them together, now the wavelengths that are out there through space, you've limited the amount of wavelengths that can pass through here, right? And so now the wavelengths can only be very small if they want to reach through here. So what does this do? Slips things together. That's the Casmir effect. Forces things to get sucked together. Ashley Burnitz, she's famous for making the clip that included some of our work into the fake Netflix what was it? Trailer. That was really good. Yeah, Ashton showing his DM, shocking. The plans for March 8th, not really any huge plans. I was thinking about retiring from doing MH370 stuff, but we'll see. I'm not 100% convinced. Maybe I'll take a break, whatever. Brett Favre unretired like 3 times, guys, so retirement doesn't mean much in this day and age. But March 7th, I signed up for a seminar or something related to a presentation that one of these investigators is doing around MH370, and I am definitely going to press on them about the fire scenario, 100%. March 7th. I'll have to look up and see, what is it called? I'll look it up right now. I'll try to not show all my emails as well. Ooh, some more FOIA requests came back. Oh, Department of Energy. They came back and said that they received my thing. I don't know if they're going to have anything about MH370, but we'll see. Where did it just go? Shit. I got too much stuff open, chat. I got too much stuff open. What's the one? Here it is. Damn, I've done a lot of crap. Event registration. Okay. Event registration. The disappearance of MH370 10 years on Canberra. That doesn't tell us a lot, does it? Does this have my information on it? Australian Defence Force Academy, Lecture Theatre 7. Some kind of Australian thing. I don't even know what time this is on my time. This is going to be like 4 in the morning my time, I think. Oh, Royal Aeronautical Society, guys. Royal Aeronautical Society. I'm not going to show this because I feel like I'm going to accidentally show personal information I'm not trying to show, even though I don't see any. But I feel like there might be something here I don't want to reveal. But yes, it's some Royal Aeronautical Society presentation on February 7th that I'm going to be doing. Should be fun. Yeah, well, I'm 41 and I don't know how to use AI, so welcome, chat. Welcome to the club. Yeah, I mean, it's been, man, I've been doing this for months too, Dorian. I don't know how I pull it off. Okay, anyway, let's go back to this here. So you create that region of energy density between the plates, so negative energy density. One approach to extracting energy from the quantum vacuum is by using the Casmir effect, which takes advantage of the fact that the vacuum of space is not empty, but rather filled with fluctuating electromagnetic waves. By placing two metal plates close to one another, the energy density between the plates decreases, causing a force that pushes the plates together. This force can be used to generate energy. I never really thought about it like that. Another proposed method for extracting energy from the quantum vacuum involves using the use of quantum mechanical systems, such as atoms or molecules, to create a source of negative energy. By carefully manipulating these systems, it may be possible to create a situation where energy is extracted from the vacuum and used to perform useful work. However, these concepts are still largely theoretical, as there's much debate about the feasibility. Okay. Let's pull this over to the side. Now, actually, the next thing I want to ask is summarize David Maker's work. Let's see if it knows David Maker. No, that's definitely not. That's not the right dude at all. Okay. Chat, where? Where was that link he just posted? JK Philly, do you still have that link? There it is. I got it. Never mind, I got it. Blood of children for immortality, chat. What a wild thing. Adrenochrome. Department of Orbs emails. Yeah. So before we go into this real quick, what I want to say in terms of what would be the reasons of stepping away from MH370 stuff is partially, I guess, burnout, but the other side of it, and then focusing on other stuff. But the other side of it too is to like allow the mythology of the case to build up, right? Allow the suspense to build up, right? Build hype for it. People wonder, oh, why did that Ashton guy stop? Whatever happened to him? And then a few months later, maybe a year later, we can come back to it after we're not burnt out anymore. But I think the reality is we have to let the public catch up a little bit. So I will repeat, I believe these videos are 100% real. If you're just listening right now, I'm about to show the MH370 videos. I believe these videos are 100% authentic. I don't think anybody edited them to add any orbs or anything like that. You can see the clouds moving pretty clearly, especially in the high quality one. What we see here is all consistent with science. I mean, you've got a literal, no one's even explained why there would be a citric session. Like, why would they have faked a citric session into their video? How is that not just absolute proof the videos are real? Just blows my mind. You can see the clouds moving. They're like, oh, it's an artifact. You can see the clouds evolving here and just moving around. Like, it's wild. You can see the clouds move down here as well. But I believe these videos are definitely authentic. I think that they show one of the biggest military leaks of all time. And sadly, they implicate the U.S. government in a giant conspiracy, man. Giant conspiracy. This one, I can't even believe people think this is fake. There was somebody who made like 4 posts on Reddit or 3 posts on Reddit, I think, the other day, where they were saying that this is not like adequate for going through turbulence or something like that. And like every single thing they said was factually incorrect, like not even scientifically accurate. Like what's wrong with these people? Like people see this and they feel so personally upset that they're willing to just straight up make up fake debunk evidence just to convince themselves. People that have no background or understanding of how science and turbulence works or air pressure flows, no idea whatsoever. And then they post videos of helicopters. And they think this is evidence that somehow the shake we're seeing here is not accurate. The shake is 100% accurate. I've even got a drone video that shows a drone in high turbulence where it doesn't even have this much turbulence. It's like these things are extremely stable, man. It's a big drone. It's not going to fly over. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. So anyway, I'm happy for people to think they're fake. I don't care. Yeah, if I were to take a break from MH370, it doesn't mean I'm not going to stream, by the way. It just means I'm going to be focusing more on science and other stuff. And a matter of stepping away from it's just really a matter of formalization. In terms of just letting people know why I'm not talking about it more, because I want people to know that I absolutely believe the videos are still real. I'm not stepping away from that at all. Nobody's even become remotely close to debunking these videos. Nobody's even addressed our evidence, let alone have some hoaxer come forward. So, yeah. I mean, until that happens, these videos will always be out there. The next move, if you're the government, is you need to make some fake videos that don't have the orbs in them and then come up with some logical reason for why you hadn't come forward and find some patsy to come forward and claim they made it. The problem with that is I have a number of small details that either I know about or very few people know about, where only the hoaxer would know, and I can just test them. Who's Eddie Bravo? Thank you, Nobel Price. Appreciate the donation. I do like that a lot of you people haven't been donating as much anymore. I prefer if you guys keep your own money. But, of course, I appreciate it if you were to donate. It's nice of you. Thank you very much, Nobel Price. Because you did that, we will take a look up, and we will look up Eddie Bravo. The problem is I'm going to look up Eddie Bravo, and I'm going to get Cartoon Network. Oh, maybe I'm not going to get Eddie. I guess Eddie Bravo, the cartoon, is too old. I'm too boomer to... This guy? Is this an MMA guy? Damn, he's older than me. This dude, is no way this guy's 50. This picture must be from way long ago. No way. This dude, for being, how old did that make him? 54? There's no way this is a 54-year-old. Wow, he's got 600,000 followers. These people got a lot of followers, man. Is this him? I'm already following him. I'm guessing he doesn't post much. Yeah, he hasn't posted on Twitter in years. Bro asked who Eddie Bravo is. Oh, that's Johnny Bravo. Yeah, Johnny Bravo. Oops, guys. Whoops. Oh, that's pretty awkward, chat. That's pretty awkward. I called Eddie Bravo Johnny Bravo. I don't think we're gonna get him. I don't think we're gonna get him on the stream. Get him anymore, guys. Oh. Is he into adrenochrome? Just messing with you. Anyway, guys, let's... oh, by the way, chat, the Discord is now open. The Discord is now open to the public. I think we've also reached the point where I'm not worried about people stealing information out of the Discord. I probably could have opened it up a while ago. I've just been busy. So if you want a Discord invite, you don't need to ask me. There was like several dozen requests for Discord invites in my email. So go ahead and take a look yourself. Sorry, guys. I'm not really familiar with all of Joe Rogan's best friends. No offense to Joe Rogan out there. I am the director. Thank you. Okay, I guess we're Googling something else, chat. Guys, we're getting really sidetracked here. I do like interacting with you guys, but it does make it hard to get stuff done. That's why a lot of the stuff I do offline. Not a lot of it, but a little bit of it. General... Come on, what is going on here? General Atomics... L Mirage Black Sphere. Okay, thank you for the donation. You have awarded yourself one black sphere. Well, this is recently. Oh shit, I did not want to do that. Jesus. It literally auto-downloaded a program. How is this not just straight up malware? Oh, I think I've seen this one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen this. Is there no sound? Oh, yeah, this is really weird, right? The problem is, like Joe Rogan said to Aaron Rodgers, I like the ones that move really fast or really weird, right? What is that? It's just floating there, right? Because like if it's just floating there, how do you know it's not? It's like just a balloon or something. Although normally a balloon's move somewhere. Although, damn, that's pretty weird. So, guys, just for anybody out there, you see a sphere like this, you get out of your car and you go up to it. Just pull over on the side of the road and film it for more than 30 seconds, right? Film it for like 10 minutes. Figure out where it goes. Follow that thing. I mean, this is pretty damn close. It's right there. This video should go for like another 5 minutes minimum. And they should be saying, what the F, like 10 times here. And just get out of your car. Who cares? Side of the road, they're not going to arrest you.
There's a fucking thing just floating around on your
Okay, there you go. He's like, it's just floating around. Okay, time to go about my day. Guys, this is why we're never going to get disclosure, man. My dude just straight up moves over to the side and just moves off. He's like, okay, I'm good. That Nico Bar video was some really, really, really bad AI, guys. So don't promote that to me. It was terrible. It was somebody who was trying to think. They thought in their mind that the other video was really bad, and they found out the hard way that the other video was really, really good and not made by AI. The person who made it too is probably one of you guys who was a fan or whatever. But I mean, I'm sorry to tell you that attempt was really poor. Goes to show that not everything is easy as you imagine it to be, chat. Here, I don't want to sidetrack, but I'd pull up the Nico Bar video. I could only get through like 30 seconds of it. It was so bad compared to the letter to Ashton Forbes, which was extremely detailed. Okay, so I think we can flip through some of this now because we heard the summary. Let's read the summary here. This is going to be consistent probably with what Grok said. Quantum theory predicts that the vacuum of spacetime throughout the universe is filled with electromagnetic waves, random in phase and amplitude, propagated in all possible directions, and with a cubic frequency distribution. This differs from the cosmic microwave background radiation, is referred to as electromagnetic quantum vacuum, which is the lowest energy state of an otherwise empty space. When integrated over all frequency modes up to the Planck frequency, it represents an energy density that has a much higher, energy density as much as 10 to, is that 113 joules? Which is far in excess of any other known energy source, even if only an infinitesimal fraction of it is accessible. Even if one is constrained to integrate over all frequency modes, only up to the nucleon Comption frequency, this energy density is still enormous. In addition, the electromagnetic quantum vacuum is not alone. It intimately couples to the charged particles in the Dirac sea of virtual fermion particle-antiparticle pairs, aka the Dirac vacuum, and thereby couples to the other interactions inherent in the standard model, the weak force and the strong force. However, in the standard model of particle physics, the weak force vacuum is essentially the electromagnetic vacuum because photons serve as the massless eigenstates, I don't know what that is, of the unified electroweak theory with an effective coupling constant that is in fact an electromagnetic in strength. And we can safely ignore any coupling of the quantum electromagnetic vacuum to the quantum chromodynamic vacuum. It's like they're trying to make this as hard as possible, guys. In the paper, because the latter coexist in two phases, the ordinary vacuum exterior to the hadron, which is impenetrable to quark color. Is it even real? The vacuum interior. Okay, so I'm not going to read the rest of that because it's gobbledygook. What they're saying here is that there is a underlying matrix and that there's a huge level of latent energy in the vacuum of space-time anywhere, and that we can tap into this using like the Casmir effect. There are ways to manipulate and tap into the underlying framework of the space-time itself. Even though this zero-point energy seems to be an inescapable consequence of quantum field theory, its energy density is so enormous as to make it difficult to reconcile. Instead, many quantum calculations subtract the ZPF energy by ad hoc means, for example, using Reed normalization. However, the effects of the quantum vacuum ZPF that are responsible for a variety of well-known particle physics effects are observed, such as Lamb shift, subatomic, spontaneous subatomic emission, low temperature Van der Waals forces, Casimir effect, source of photon shot, blah, blah, blah. One thing that this reminded me of, somebody asked about Sal in the chat. When I was talking to Mark today, and this will come out in the podcast, but he was actually looking at Salvatore Pais' paper on inertial mass reduction as well. It's funny because he had the papers up for stuff he was looking into, and I mentioned what his thoughts were on Salvatore Pais, and he literally was like, "Oh, I have the paper right over here," and pulled it up to the screen. Pretty cool. So yeah, the Mark interview today was pretty fun. It was really good. I'm looking forward to getting that out. I'm still trying to set up interviews with some other people, including some congressmen. But they're kind of flaky, so we'll see. Maybe we can get it to happen. I hope so. You can find the invite to the Discord in my Twitter. I posted it earlier today. It's only you can look back like 2 posts and you'll find it. Actually, I'll link it here. So there you go. For people watching or people who can click right there, you can join the Discord. Please keep it respectful. No hostile crap. No, no racist stuff. If you're interacting and fighting with people, you're gonna get booted. Just keep it normal. You can look through all the channels. You can take a look at the evidence out there. I think I've made everything available for people to view, so you can sift through all the stuff that's out there. I'm gonna keep this Discord pretty not crappy. I don't want to have a community like Chris Leto's community, which is just so toxic. Which is funny considering the guy's got a unification theory about love, and his, other than Alien Girl, like most of his community is just super toxic. Okay. That's loud. Okay, this is kind of boring. I want to look at David Maker's stuff, guys. The interview has not been published yet. I'll publish the interview on Sunday. Okay, let's see what David Maker's thing is. So somebody sent me this generally covariant generalization of the Dirac equation that does not require gauges. Literally, his website's called davidmaker.com. Is there any way I can feed this into AI? There's got to be a way we can feed this into AI, guys. Chat, teach me. Teach me. I also don't want to be up all night. I'm starting to get pretty tired. It's been a long, long day. Summarize David Maker's work called Generally Covariant. What was it called? Okay, I'm not showing DMs this time. Okay, I can't read this here. Generally covariant generalization. Seems redundant. Of the Dirac equation that does not require gauges. GAU, Jesus. Okay, Grok. Let's see what you got, Grok. Oh! Chat. Yo, Grok does not mess around, chat. Okay, David Maker's work, blah, 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 focuses on deriving a new generalization of the Dirac equation from assumptions of geometric point. The approach replaces the need for dark matter and dark energy and offers a quantized metric. That's similar with what a lot of stuff we've been finding. The paper presents a solution of the Dirac equation in various domains and discusses the implications of this new generalization on various aspects of physics, including atomic units and gravitational phenomenon. In conclusion, his work provides a new perspective on the Dirac equation and its role in explaining various physical phenomena without the need for additional concepts like dark matter and dark energy. Okay, so let's take a look at explain the Dirac equation. I mean, that's pretty good. I'm glad it knew some random thing like this. It's pretty random. Yeah, I think we've debunked dark matter, chat. Maybe we should do a post debunking dark matter. Guys, sorry, we debunked dark matter. Turned out it was a series of balloons. It was a Batman balloon. Or maybe it was just a Pyromania VFX. Sorry, guys. Dark matter's been debunked. It's Pyromania VFX. It's exact match. Okay, the Dirac equation is a relativistic quantum mechanical wave equation that describes the behavior of elementary spin particles such as electrons. It was formulated by British physicist Paul Dirac and is consistent with both principles of quantum mechanics and the theory of special relativity. That's good. The equation predicted the existence of dark or antimatter, which are particles that have the same mass as their corresponding matter counterparts, but the exact or opposite electrical charges. It also provided a better explanation of the magnetic behavior of electrons, which was once the most mysterious and puzzling aspects of the behavior at the time. Dirac equation has had a significant impact on our understanding of the universe. It has been applied to various fields, including particle physics, atomic physics, condensed matter physics. Condensed matter, that's what we were talking about. One of the most important equations. Okay. I feel like there's probably something I can say to this where I can get a longer answer. But I think the approach would be to maybe try to read some of the summaries, anything we can understand here. Over the past 100 years, people have been trying to make up for that mistake. Oh, space is not in general flat. There are forces. People have been trying to make up for that mistake by adding ad hoc, convoluted gauge force after gauge force until fundamental theoretical physics became a massive confusion, a train wreck, a junk pile. So all they can do forever and ever is try to rearrange that junk pile with zero actual progress to the most fundamental theoretical forces of physics. We died. Okay. Is not flat space, so it cures this problem. So this does sound very similar to Martin Gibson's post that we put on there. Retell the info in bullet point summary form. Should we try that real quick? Did I already close it? I closed it already. Grok. Where'd you go, Grok? Okay, let's see. Let's see if chat's correct. Hey, thanks, Bernie. I appreciate it. I'm learning slowly. Dark matter, I think the best way is I truly think that dark matter is simply complexity, right? Dark matter is just an increase in complexity, which is how you would describe how you unify it from the quantum field perspective as well as general relativity. Is that on the very small scales, let me use paint to explain it. Okay, so if we imagine, I'm going to explain dark matter to you, chat. I hope you enjoy this. This is my understanding of it based on scientists. I'm not trying to say that I'm inventing anything new here, but imagine that this line right here has some mass to it, okay? So let's say that the mass of this line right here is equal to 1. Okay. Well, that's weird. Why does that not? So this is 1, right? So this is 1. And let's assume that this is some piece of quantum information that's equal to 1, okay? Over time, everything gets more complex. So molecules, like a solar system becomes planets, becomes the sun, etc. Information grows as I'm speaking right now. The information is growing from the first word to the 10th word. So you could think of things either very small or very large in this same type of concept. So there is a 1 amount of gravity associated to this amount of complexity or mass. Whoops. Now, as time goes on and time moves forward, now we're going to have this much mass. Let's say this is 2, right? Now this is 1, and this is 1 equals 2. So now we have twice the amount of mass. This can be information, this can be a quantum number, this can be a macro scale number, and this is how complexity continues to grow, right? Now you take this much, and I don't know how much this is, but this is the idea, is that now you have a significant more amount here, right? And so as time moves forward, you can think about it a different way. As time is moving forward, the complexity is increasing. And as the complexity is increasing, then the amount of mass is increasing, both from the quantum level of information as well as therefore from a large level. And this can be a unification theory, because if it's increasing at the quantum level, it's also increasing at the macroscopic level as well, right? And this is why we don't see dark matter. You can't see it. We can see the effects that there clearly must be more mass there, but we can't see the additional mass. It's not that the mass is hiding from us. It's that there's another explanation for why there's more stickiness. And hey, Tangent Gaming, appreciate you, man. Okay, so this is good. I didn't think this was going to work. So whoever said that you could use Grok like this, Exilius, appreciate you. Let's read it this way. Dirac equation, fundamental equation in theory of physics, describes the behavior of fermions with half-integer spin. Okay, guys, we learned what fermions and bosons are. Fermions, things that have a half-integer spin, are things like my this right here. Anything that has mass has a fundamental property where you can touch it and feel it, and all the atoms inside here take up a different point in space-time. Okay. When something's a boson, which would mean an integer spin, so not a half spin, but 1 or 2, then those things are going to collapse down. That's like a laser, where a laser is the light focused down to a single point where it all collapses on itself. That means you have an integer spin as opposed to a half integer spin. Dirac's theory successfully combines quantum theory with special relativity and accurately predicts the magnetic moment of the electron. Key concepts. General covariance. A generally covariant generalization of the Dirac equation is found by substituting general covariance in the standard Dirac equation. I hate when explanations use the same word to explain them. It doesn't really tell us what it means. Point source diagonalization. OKMN diagonalized in the form of a point source, whatever that means. Key findings. First new order PDE. A generally covariant generalization of the Dirac equation that requires only one postulate of geometrical point to prove. Boy, you're losing me. 3 domains R greater than RH. Okay. Curved space explicitly includes curved space, thus naturally explaining the forces with direct, straightforward derivation. Okay. Implications. Breakthrough physics propulsion. Potential to impact fundamental science and our future. Breakthrough energy ideas. Possible advancement in energy research. Deeper understanding of our physical universe and the behavior of particles with spin. Criticisms. Gauge and free parameters. Some argue that the original Dirac equation and its interpretation remain important despite the proposed generalization. Reliance on EM interactions. The proposed theory may not be more fundamental to the quantum theory than other interactions. Conclusion. David Maker's work offers a new perspective on the Dirac equation, potentially leading to breakthroughs in theoretical physics. It is very generalized. This doesn't really tell us any of the detailed information that we wanted. Yeah, self-loop explanations. I don't like self-explanatory explanations at all. What I want to know is what is covariant with respect to the Dirac equations. Yeah, I think our galaxy is magnetically... that magnetism... So even before I dug into all this, I always felt like magnetism was the key to understanding dark energy, dark matter, especially dark matter, is that magnetism is what's allowing everything to be stuck together. And in a sense, I think that's the truth. That's what the answer is. All these are basically electromagnetism and magnetism-based explanations. Mots, thanks for that post. Interesting. Fractals, huh? We keep hearing the same terms over and over again. Okay. The Dirac equation, which describes the behavior of fermions and satisfies the principles of relativity and quantum mechanics, is covariant under these transformations. This means that if the equation is written in one integral frame of reference, it can be transformed into another frame of reference, and the transformed equation will still describe the same physical system. The covariance of the Dirac equation is ensured by the transformational properties of the gamma matrices, which are used to construct the equation. Doesn't really help too much. but we're still getting there. Okay, this is pretty good. Have I heard of Hal Puthoff? Yeah, I've heard of him. I'm a fan. I think that Hal Puthoff is legit. He has dodged a lot of interviews. And if you look up his work, like he's like one of the most old school physicists in the DoD entirely. I think he's like 80 years old. And apparently his Wikipedia has been getting bombarded by skeptic debunker people, which usually that's a pretty good sign. Parapsychologist and electrical engineer. Whenever he says electrical engineer, I'm immediately interested. In 2010s, he co-founded To the Stars with Tom DeLonge. Electrical engineering. He took interest in the Church of Scientology. Why is this even on here? This is definitely just to discredit him. He took interest in the Church of Scientology. Okay. Like in the 70s and the 60s. So he severed all ties with them in the 70s. But for some reason, this is like in his Wikipedia. I have a feeling if I were to go to Mick West Wikipedia, it's not going to say how he's been wrong about the Tic Tac videos and stuff like that. I'm guessing it's going to say completely opposite stuff, even though he's a video game. His claim to fame is he worked on Tony Hawk video game. He researched zero-point energy, the lowest possible energy that a quantum mechanical system may have. The quantum vacuum explains the quantum vacuum field theories. In 1987, he showed that the grounded state of the hydrogen atom can be determined by dynamic equilibrium between radiation emitted due to the electron acceleration and radiation absorbed from zero-point fluctuations. A lot of this still goes over my head. A biologist Massimo whatever, have noted that extracting energy from zero-point energy is considered to be pseudoscience. That's literally just an opinion from a biologist. Why would anyone care what a biologist thinks about zero-point energy? What is this? This is apparently the thing that he was fighting about. This is literal nonsense. I might actually do a post about this because this is so stupid. Why is this in his Wikipedia? Who cares? This is like me saying that, like, this is like me citing myself to say that Mick West is a video game player and therefore shouldn't have any opinion on UFOs. That's like me having that in Mick West's Wikipedia page. Who cares? This isn't even relevant. A well-known a parapsychologist and conducts research on so-called zero-point energy, the idea that one can extract energy from empty space. It doesn't violate thermodynamics at all. This does not violate thermodynamics. This is why you don't have biologists tell you about how zero-point works. Oh, God. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Oh, my God. You got one earring, bro? Get out of here. Let me guess. Are we going to find that this guy's in some kind of nonsense believing stuff as well? Oh, this is why. Oh, of course. He writes regularly for the Skeptical Inquirer. Of course. Of course he does. Directly links him back to Mick West. Isn't the Skeptical Inquirer one of these Mick West things? I'm pretty sure it is. How come everything links back to Mick West, guys? Wow, I actually didn't think there was much to this whole like Wikipedia edit wars thing, but we've got a direct link back to Mick West here, I think. Mick West literally has a cult. Literal cult, dude. Literal cult of followers. And none of them ever address anything. They just live in their own little cult world of skepticism and how they think they're smarter than everybody else. Even though they're just like all idiots, they've probably never accomplished anything in their lives. He started a monthly internet column called Rationally Speaking. Oh my God, dude. Okay, well, I think we're going to pass on this guy. Yikes, man. Okay, I think that's good for tonight. Chat, I'm going to go to sleep. Oh, you sent me the documents. Thanks, Moneypenny. We looked over the one already. Was it this one? It's just a little bit too long for me to go through on the stream. But we did the summary of it. So tomorrow I'll probably go over the summary of the other one. We might do a little bit more research. I want to get the last Lockheed Martin Rolls-Royce connection stuff done. I think that's one of our last kind of investigative things that we found. I think we're also going to debunk the conspiracy theory that there were 4 scientists on the plane that died and then the patent carried over. Like, those people didn't even die. So we'll probably debunk that tomorrow. But main thing I'm going to be doing tomorrow is I'm going to be editing my Hard Truths podcasts. So if I'm not online, that's probably what I'll be doing. Thing is, it's not even worth addressing Mick West. Dude's such a clown, honestly. He's just a complete clown, man. I'd rather just let Mick West live in his alternate reality, you know? I just don't care. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. You guys have a good one. Thank you, Moneypenny, for that link. We'll look at it tomorrow. Everyone have a great night. Appreciate you guys being here. Peace, everyone.